This is On the Block with Strick and Austin.
Let's get it.
Happy
Thursday. Welcome in to On the Block. I'm Austin, joined as always by the Husker Hall of Famer, the 9-year NBA veteran, soon to be ref, man of many talents, Eric Strickland. How you doing today?
Doing wonderful, my guy. Windy. It's a windy day today.
Sure is.
What if you're trying to play golf today? You think you can handle it? That's a brisk.
Here's the thing. This is the perfect day for my golf game because I don't get it more than about 10 feet off the ground.
Oh, so you kill it with you
I'm
knock
hitting
down
those.
it.
Yes, I'm warm burning.
Yeah.
That's all I do.
No, yeah, it's a day. Definitely trying to throw darts is one of those ones. Something about golf that's interesting to me. And it's something similar to what I've learned, Austin, as we talk about, ourselves here on the block and Mary Ellen's Food for the Soul. They are our sponsors, but I'm going to continue on with my little story. Mary Ellen's, we love you. Continued all the beauty that you bring to the people here in Lincoln, 27th and Pine Lake. Go out there, have a Mary Ellen's meal, and let them know that On the Block sent you. Charles, happy birthday belated again, my friend. We thank you again for your continued love in the community. Now, golf is very similar to something that I've learned in sports. There was a lesson that I was taught and why baseball was so important to me in my career, right? In sports, you're successful at 50% and above, especially in basketball. You're looking at 60% or so in football, but you have a, pretty good, stats about yourself when you're in that tier above 50. In baseball, you're great if you're over 300. So
30%,
3 out of 10 times you step up to that, you're going to possibly most likely fail, right? So learning that lesson when I was playing baseball taught me a lot about basketball. That is, when you miss shots, that's okay, because you're going to miss some. And it's the same thing I acquire that I put into my mind for golf. I watch golf and professional golfers, and they stand over a 5-footer, 10-footer, and they miss.
They do.
And so when I stand over a 5-footer, I'm not a pro, and I don't know how to, stop it on a dime chip, back it up when I want to, and do all of that. Yes, I can hit a good ball, but I don't have all that skill. But when I miss, I don't get as upset as I used to, like throwing doing Bo Jackson with clubs and throwing them all into the freaking lake where the alligators are. So that's one thing that I learned. But playing in the wind is quite difficult if you don't know how to shape the ball, kind of use the wind a little bit and play a shot.
When you drive, are you more of a hook guy or a slice guy?
I'm more of a power fade.
Okay.
That's probably the best shot that I can hit. Seldom do I turn it over.
Okay.
I can turn it over with my 3 wood. That's the one that I kind of have a pretty good turnover is with my 3 wood. My driver, I like to hit a good power fade. So when it shapes up with a little dog leg to the right, that's perfect for streaky.
What's your best club? What's your best shot?
I would say I like my 7/8 iron.
Okay.
I like to be at about that 150 to 160 range where I can really put a stroke and feel good about it. My putter at times is hot, and my putter sometimes sucks. And so that's the frustrating with that part of it. I'm looking forward to playing with Jake Sorensen. We've got a tournament coming up pretty soon. Albert Maxey's doing it. Wonderful Husker legend. Is doing a tournament in May, I think around the 20th time frame. So, me, Sorensen, and maybe Jay Foreman, a group of us going to get together and play. But if you're out there playing today, it's a beautiful day, 86 degrees. Get out there and hit a ball. Shoot.
Are you guys to win? Will you guys be on the same team or competing against each other?
Yeah,
I say just beat Jay.
We be partners. Jay can play.
Doesn't shock me.
I mean, Jake Sorensen can play. Jay can play too. Well, I haven't played with either of them in individual, games.
When is that coming up? Soon-ish?
I think around the 3rd week of May.
You won't miss a show for that, will you?
Oh, no. I think it's a weekend.
Oh, perfect.
Yeah.
Tell me when and where.
I think it's a weekend.
I'll walk the course with you. I'll heckle. No, I won't heckle.
Yeah.
That'd be rude. You were
fun.
getting too much of that from Rico before.
Whew.
He was all up in your
He was all
business
up
for
on
some
me.
reason.
He was all on me. It's all good though. I still love him. He's a Wellevue West guy.
That he is. You stick together. That's what I've heard at least.
Yes, sir.
Whether you want to or not. On golf, this popped across my feed today. 26 years ago today, Tiger Woods won his first ever Masters, won it by a record 12 strokes at 21 years old.
Yeah. Tiger hasn't been the same since unfortunately the things happened with his former wife. That whole debacle of running into and the crash and all the stuff that came out of that. It's sad, but ever since then he hadn't been the same. I don't know if it's in his mental. Obviously his body's broken down, but he was surely on his way to being up there with Hogan and Nicklaus and all the greats. He was definitely on his way of challenging some of those records, but he just can't seem to find it. I would say he's a game changer because he's similar to a Shaq. He's similar to a Michael Jordan. He's similar to a Steph Curry in that he changed the game. They started changing courses for him. They started longing them, making them longer, making them a little bit more dogs to him, so it could take away driving ability. Now you got guys that are hitting 380 350 regularly now, Koepka and all those guys. So shoot, I hope he can just finish it out. He just doesn't look like he's having fun anymore. You know what I mean? When you see him, am I wrong?
I think you're onto something, and I think some of that is pressure in his mind from other people to, when's he coming back? Is he going to get back? But he's been hurt so much. I don't know if anyone really understands the mental toll, of not just the pressure, but even just trying to come back from these injuries. I mean, to add that mental toll on top of the physical toll to try to put it together for 3 or 4 days over a weekend, that's got to be tough.
Yeah, it's very tough. 4 days is crazy. It's just about staying consistent. The more consistent that you can be, but when there's so many things with life now, just keep an eye on his son.
Right.
Just keep an eye on Charlie. See what Charlie's gonna do. That's gonna be something to watch. Sometimes the son can get passed on and becomes better than the dad, i.e. Kobe. Jelly Bean Bryant.
I'm glad you brought Kobe up because today in 2016, Kobe's final NBA game. Dropped 60 points in that final game. One of the best, career-ending performances of all time. But Strick, since that game, and the more we hear some of these young players come up, they really idolized Kobe. And some of the young guys, I think Jason Tatum's one of them, is throwing Kobe Bryant in the discussion with LeBron and Michael Jordan for the greatest of all time.
Facts.
I don't agree.
I'm not going to say the greatest of all time, but definitely in the top 15 for me. I think what he's been able to do, his accomplishments with greatness and without, as the lead guy, I think his skill set was phenomenal. He definitely was a two-way guy. When you have that conversation, I think you need to have it, with him involved. You've got to talk about him in the top 5 as a Laker.
Oh yeah,
definitely. So yeah, I'm not going to say he's challenging that top tier mark, but you got to have him in the conversation because, not only statistically, but what he's been able to accomplish, again, with and without, the type of help. Like let's be real, Pau Gasol has been great for him. Derek Fisher was his Jalen Brunson, what I'm saying, type.
Sure.
When you look at Michael Jordan, like, Derek Fisher was kind of like Ron Harper, to him, just a guy that was going to be solid. He was going to be defensive. Pau Gasol was just one of the, earlier skilled Jokic type big men. Could pass, very sound in scoring, a little bit softer, but he definitely had a skill set that was unique for its time. He had some range, not the type of game that we play today, but yeah. So he got it done with them. I mean, Lamar Odom, that was a great addition for them. It was good to see Samaki Walker, my former teammate, get a chance to spend some time with him in the backup roles there behind Shaq and crew. So yeah, man, you got to talk about him.
According to the NBA 75, so that would have come out what, a couple years ago?
Yeah, I think it's 14. Was it 14?
Kobe's at number 10.
Oh, you got him at 10.
Up all the way at number 10. So it's MJ, LeBron, Kareem, the top three. Russell and Magic round out the top five. Pretty solid. Wilt at 6, Larry Bird at 7, Shaq at 8, Tim Duncan at 9, and Kobe at 10. Any arguments there?
I mean, that's kind of a way that I would look at it. I like it. I don't have, I will say that people would say individuals like Larry Bird that high, you crazy. Like I tell people, Larry Bird was a killer. Like you might not have been able to watch him enough to understand what Larry Bird could do to you. You know what I mean? I'm gonna be honest. I'm glad I missed him. Like that's the way I feel about it. It's the same thing people would say about, John Stockton. John Stockton was as tough as nails as they come. And he was one of the best to do it at the point guard position. When you're talking about true point guards,
distributor
guys that are running, leading, handling, and hitting the big shot when they need to, true point guards, he's one of the best to do it to me. I mean, just from playing against them and just watching just how he methodically handled his business out there.
What made him so good?
He was very cerebral. He knew what the best was of his team. KYP, know your personnel. He was one of the best at doing that. He knew what his go-tos were, when he needed to go to, when he needed to slow it down, when he needed to push the pace. Defensively, how I need to scrap and get at you, so forth. He just had a way of understanding the time, the situation, the score, what needs to be done and when and by who, you know what I mean, type of thing. And that's what made him great, I thought.
So Kobe's at number 10 on the NBA 75. There are two guys, Strick, not very far behind him on that list. I don't know if they pass him or not, but I think they get closer into that same tier of conversation. I want your opinion. The first one listed at number 13, Kevin Durant.
I'm not there. I think that's too high for Kevin.
Not enough rings, too much injury. What's the rationale for no KD?
This is so hard because Kevin is so great. He really is. You're talking about 6'10", a guy that can, stroke it, can score at will, one of the best scorers in league history. But for me, he wasn't enough of a two-way. He wasn't enough of a defender. Yes, he can score and do it. Man, just his freaking being an anomaly of a guy at 6'10". He was one of the guys that started this craze of, 6'10" guys that can do what they do. I think somebody that doesn't get as much credit for what he's done for his team and his growth is Dirk Nowitzki. He's one of the guys that I think is, just because I got to see him from the time he was a youth, the time he put in the gym. I got to watch him grow. I got to watch him get punked, by, the Steven Jackson and Baron Davis, 8th seed Golden State Warriors team. They like literally punked him. But then for him to come back and be like, no. Nope. This is not happening again. And literally beast, and then basically solo. Let's be real. He had great surrounding characters, but basically solo. He beat the Miami Heat team.
That was a good Heat team.
That was you're still talking about Bosh, Wade, and LeBron in their peak. Shoot, man, you crazy than a mug. Dirk gave him the business and did it to him. It was disappointing in 06. I was there. I was sitting up in the freaking because Mark Cuban had flew us into the Mark Cuban flew the whole staff. I was working for the Mavericks at the time. Mark Cuban flew us in the staff in, and we're sitting there in the stands, and I'm watching, and I'm like, I wish I could freaking put a uniform on, because I'm watching Dwayne Wade just kill him with no resistance. It was just like, it was letting him do what he wanted to do. I'm like, Worst case scenario, put a forearm in his chest, something. Don't let him be just that comfortable. That was so frustrating, but it cost them because that was the turning point of the series. I think it was game 3. They were up. If they would have won that, they'd go up 3-1 or something. Like it was game 4. I think it was game 4. They would have went up 3-1. So yeah, man, that was a frustrating time, but yeah.
The Heat just marched to the free throw line in 2006.
Oh gosh.
I mean,
it made me think, ooh, like some conspiracies going on out there, because my goodness, it was I mean, the free throw count was crazy for Miami compared to Dallas. Crazy. Yeah.
Who is Mark Cuban, the owner? What's he like as a person?
Mark is different in working for him in an office position than working for him as a player.
Huh?
One of the better, I would say, player owners. Like a lot of the stuff that he did with us, he couldn't do now. For example, like I said, me and at times Dirk, Nash, sometimes Cedric Sabalas, Finley, every now and then, depending on where, AC Green, he would literally fly us on his plane. So like if we were staying in a city like Phoenix or Vancouver or New York or Miami or whatever, he would tell a group of us, he'd be like, Strick, Finn, whatever, plane leaves at 9, just meet us at the airport. So we just get our car and go meet him at the airport, and it was a G5. Now it was like a limo. It was like a limo in the air.
Sky limo.
It was like a limo in the air. And here's what was beautiful. I don't think he wanted to trade me. It was kind of a little Donnie Nelson deal. Big Donnie, liked me. But when I did get traded, he gave me access. Just whenever we're in the city, because when you play for the New York Knicks, you never practice in the Garden.
Really?
Never.
Really?
You don't do shoot-arounds in the Garden.
Really?
No.
Really?
Yeah.
Huh.
Now that may have changed, but when we were playing, we never did shoot-arounds in the Garden. We always do shoot-arounds. We practice in what they call SUNY Purchase, which is up by White Plains, up in Westchester County. And what we would do is the practice facility, I think, is still up that way somewhere, but we would come into the city. They would give us like a hotel room, and after shoot-around, we can go stay in the hotel, and we could play, and then they would give us the hotel for the night. Yeah, that's how it worked. So he gave me access to, just one of he had multiple apartments there. So he just said, hey, if you're in the city and you need it, you don't want to go back up to north. He said, you can use it. I think, and that was dope. That's one of the great things about, him. He was genuine. He's authentic. Mark Cuban's a wonderful guy. You know what I mean? But as a businessman, you're working for him. The emails and you get hounded. And listen, he doesn't sleep. He dang near. I would venture to say he looks at all of his emails.
Really?
There's not an email that will get by him. Like I can send him an email and he'll catch it. It's not like a personal. Like he literally looks at fans, and yeah, he's that kind of owner. He's good.
Nice. Indiana guy too, so Big Ten connection.
Yeah.
A little bit down the
Broadcast.com set him off. Got him started.
That'll do it.
So did the Yahoo.
Oh, I forgot he was a Yahoo guy.
Yeah.
Forgot that.
Yeah, man.
Huh. I'm going to need more Mark Cuban stories sometime.
Man, I don't think I could tell you all of them.
I'm not asking for
that's
all
the crazy.
I
don't think I could tell you
all
the fun stories. But we had some great times, and one of the great things about the times of my of our era was we didn't have social media. So you could go and have a great time. You remember when obviously you saw when James Harden is, making it rain in the spot, it caught on social media. There was another one when Rob Gronkowski happened to be out. So I think he was in Vegas or something, and he's just having a good time, shirt off and just living it up, and caught TMZ type stuff. Whereas us, we could literally go out, have a great time, a great night. People would be like, dang, straight, I heard this and that, and I heard that and this. And you'd be like, nah, it wasn't that, man. It wasn't like that, man. Yeah, we were there. We had a good time. I'm in there with shirt off, 2 bottles, and I'm tossing it up, but yeah, it was going down like that. But if you didn't see it, you didn't see it.
Plausible deniability.
Yeah, plausible deniability back then, man. But that's the difference between now. And this is why I think it's difficult for young players, young men, young women, because the microscope is literally everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
I'm talking about coming out of a restaurant. I'm talking about coming out the movie theater. I'm talking about sitting there having a little cake with your boo. I mean, everything is in a microscope right now. So it makes it difficult, and I don't envy none of these young bucks.
And it doesn't seem like anything's off limits, which is a little scary too. We'll get back to the basketball conversation at the top of the 3 o'clock hour. DeMar DeRozan's daughter stole the show. We have to get into that. We'll get to that at 3 o'clock. Coming up next, though, AFC teams have made some questionable moves. Strick, you found the best of the worst. We're going to get into that before we play the shootout to round out this hour. On the block here on 93.7 The Ticket. Thanks for listening. We'll be back in a sec.
It's April, and that means the school year's almost and summer road trips are on the horizon. Stop telling yourself you'll upgrade your car someday and do it now. Mullen Motors lot is full of great vehicles to take home, so you don't have to worry about your current car barely surviving another road trip. Come check out their lot just north of 48th and Layton and find your next ride, as summer road trips are just around the corner. Mullen Motors.
No taglines, just quality vehicles. Mullen Motors.
Babe, pack your bags. We're going to Vegas.
Vegas?
We just got the estimate from the wedding caterer, and we're going to have to elope.
Actually, Members Owned Credit Union is offering no-fee home equity lines of credit. We can borrow what we need with equity from the house.
Wait, so we can keep the bacon-wrapped dates for the cocktail hour?
We can keep the bacon-wrapped dates. From wedding bells to trekking the globe and everything in between, capture your dreams your way with a no-fee Members Owned Credit Union home equity line of credit. Learn more at membersownedheloc.org. Limitations may apply. Equal housing lender.
MWR is dedicated to building attractive, affordable steel buildings that exceed your expectations. From commercial or residential to agricultural storage, steel buildings are cost-effective, attractive, and versatile. Plus, they're a lasting investment and an ideal choice. MWR uses Sentinel Building Systems out of Albion and can service you all over the state and region. If you have interest in a steel building, post frame building, or fencing, give MWR a call today at 402-980-5273 or go to mwrbuildingandfence.com.
There's a lot of realtors in Lincoln, but don't get overwhelmed by all the names. Ben Bleicher with Professional Realtor Group at Berkshire Hathaway Ambassador Real Estate is your go-to option when buying or selling residential and commercial property. Ben's team offers unbeatable customer service and promises to make the buying and selling process as stress-free as possible. Call Ben today at 402-419-6309 for all your real estate needs. Ben Bleicher with Professional Realty Group at Berkshire Hathaway Ambassador Real Estate. No pressure, just professionalism.
Shopping for new flooring is different today. Getting your questions answered, making the right selection, getting the best value, and installed quickly and professionally. Visit O Street Car or shop our store. We'll answer all your questions and help you make the right choice. You'll be enjoying your new floor in just days for less than you'd pay elsewhere. Carpet, vinyl, wood, laminate, tile, and area rugs. We've got it all. O Street Carpet. 1732 O Street. Family owned and operated. Always the best value.
Grandma and Grandpa and Dad, then the kids, and now the grandkids. Judson Irrigation has provided lawn sprinkler system design, installation, repair, and service to 4 generations. They're just like members of the family. Loyalty, trust, service. It's what you deserve and expect from Judson Irrigation.
Keep summer green. Call Judson Irrigation 402-420-6277 or judsonirrigation.com.
WWE Friday Night SmackDown comes to Lincoln's Pinnacle Bank Arena, 6:45 this Friday.
I am back.
You'll see Drew McIntyre, Braun Strowman, Charlotte Flair, Sami Zayn, and more. And from Monday Night Raw, the OC Snoop Gallows and Carl Anderson face the Judgment Day's Damian Priest and Dominic Mysterio, and more. Tickets start at $20. Available now at Ticketmaster.
Chances are you've tried fruitcake before. Chances are it looked pretty weird. Lots of colors that don't really exist in nature. Chances are it tasted weird. Chances are you need to try fruitcake again. Grandma's fruitcake from Beatrice Bakery. None of that weird stuff you didn't like, just real fruit, premium nuts, and the delicious flavor combination of brandy, bourbon, and rum to meld all that together. See for yourself. Grandma's fruitcake from Beatrice Bakery. Online at beatricebakery.com. Welcome to our world of yum.
Working at Continental in Lincoln isn't a job, it's a career. And right now, they've raised wages again and they're hiring production operators at $24.11 per hour, which grows to $28.27 per hour within 3 years. Skilled trade positions now start at $32.76 per hour, with opportunities to make more based on certifications. Continental also has salaried jobs available, plus medical prescription costs at very low premiums. Dental, vision, and life insurance are offered at no premium cost to the associates, with increased bonuses and vacation for new hires. To learn more or to apply, go to continental-jobs.com with keyword Lincoln. Come work at Continental today.
Constructors is now hiring for all positions, with laborers starting at $20 and up based on experience. Constructors has immediate job openings for laborers, mechanics, bridge builders, operators, and drivers. Start your new career today. Constructors offers great pay, dental, and vision insurance, paid time off, paid holidays, and so much more. Join the crew today and be a part of Nebraska's oldest paving company dating back to 1908. For a complete list of openings and to apply online, visit constructorslincoln.com.
93.7 The Ticket, Fox, KFXL weather. Sponsored by John Henry's Plumbing, Heating, and Air Conditioning.
Red flag warnings in effect this afternoon due to critical fire danger. It will be hot and windy. South winds gusting near 40 with a high of 88. Tonight, mainly clear with a low of 59. We'll see a high of 83 tomorrow. South winds again gusting over 35 with a chance of scattered thunderstorms developing by evening. I'm meteorologist Tim Wright for 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Hey, it's Nick from Nebraska Volleyball. I hate wasting time in practice, and I want to help you stop wasting your time when you're looking for an electrician. High Electric has been serving the area for over 30 years for both residential and commercial properties. They are experts in everything like remodeling, new additions, hot tub installation, and more. And they take jobs from Beatrice to Omaha and all towns, big or small, in between. Call them today at 402-466-6606 or learn more at high-electric.com.
Now back to On the Block with Strick and Austin. 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
We're back on the block. Austin and E. Strick here. Going to talk a little bit about some NFL news and blues, some clues,
the trails and fails,
all of that good stuff we're going to jump into right now. Austin, yeah, I kind of find something, and it's something interesting to kind of discuss because of the fact that free agency is on, the horizon. The draft is poking around the corner, and we need to take a look back just at some of the things that teams did and maybe have some, what is it called? Not just regret, but buyer's remorse. That's the word I'm looking for. Buyer's remorse. And I want to talk about a few of those teams and, and again, it's not just about what they did as far as signing them or re-signing them. It's also about some of the decisions they may have made that when you look back at it, maybe you'd love to have done that a little bit differently. So we're going to talk a little bit about a few of those. I'm going to throw a few at you and kind of get your thoughts on it. But one of the ones that's interesting to me is because right now you have the New York Giants, who were literally closing in on a potential opportunity to get into the playoffs, had a pretty solid team. I'm sure they felt good about themselves. Been trying now for the last few months to acquire Aaron Rodgers, one coming off of a Hawaska getaway and going into the darkness to find some light, and now coming out. And then you had Zach Wilson there, and you draft him, and now you know that you're not going down that rabbit hole with him. And there's a lot that they want out of that. So what's your thoughts about, do they have buyer's remorse with how they handle things? And because now it's going to probably even cost them more because of the decision that they made.
It's hard for me to call them buyers at this point because I haven't officially bought anything yet, and that's, I think, part of the problem. I think the remorse comes from the fact that they aren't officially buyers yet at this point. And I'm surprised it's taken as long as it has. I get Green Bay wanting to squeeze every last, draft pick or ounce of value they can out of the Jets for this, because the Jets have made their intentions clear.
Yeah.
They fully signaled what it was they wanted to go ahead and do, and that's acquire Aaron Rodgers. They didn't necessarily play it close to the vest. They didn't do this, behind closed doors. They've been doing a lot of this out in the open, and that's usually dangerous when it comes to negotiating, because then the team that you're trying to negotiate with can drive a price. And we're seeing some of that with Green Bay, because basically everyone else has backed off of Green Bay, at least that we've heard. If there is another team in the mix, I think they're doing it right behind the scenes. But yeah, to me, for this offseason, if I'm the Jets, it's a problem that we don't have Aaron Rodgers officially in the fold yet.
Let's look into this. Do you think in any form or fashion that this decision that I'm going to talk about, and because I think it was a major one, I think this decision is one that anybody and everybody, and also you on the text line, Sutter Heyman text line 402-464-5685, please chime in with who you thought is the team that you support, you're with, has buyer's remorse, maybe could have made a better decision, a different decision, and wish they had have made it. Chime in on the text line and let us know your thoughts on that, because this next one is the one is like probably numero primo uno primer, let me say, the top of the line. And it's the Cleveland Browns with the Deshaun Watson deal. My goodness, my gosh. I don't even think they had to do it. They didn't have to pay the price nor the penalty, but it has set ripples all throughout the NFL, to include what's going on with Lamar Jackson right now, because everybody and their mama was able to play off of that, and his numbers just don't account for it. 1,100 yards, 183 yards per game, only 58%, 7 TDs, and a 79 QBR.
The Browns, I think, are still in wait-and-see mode on their decision. I don't think the Browns felt nearly the remorse or skepticism they maybe should have when it comes to signing Deshaun Watson. So for them, I don't know if they have any qualms about it. It's everyone else that doesn't like what the Browns did. Now, yes, Deshaun Watson has to play better for the Browns for this to be anywhere near worth the headache. But the Browns, again, didn't seem all that hesitant to go all in for him. So I don't think they're questioning their decision. To them, I think they're thinking, oh, it's just a matter of time. Oh, it was his first action back last year. Let's get him a full off season. Let's get him in the building with guys, and he'll be fine for years to come. It's everyone else. It's like, Cleveland, why would you do that? Let alone the, moral, ethical side of things, which we spent a lot of time talking about, deservedly so. But from the football contract perspective, the Ravens are like, Cleveland, come on. Look what you cost us. You cost us our quarterback.
Yeah.
I think Kansas City managed to avoid that with Mahomes. They got out in front of it a little bit. Cincinnati and the Chargers, I think Jacksonville down the line are going to be in a boat where let's see if those guys want guaranteed money. Because at some point, a signing bonus or a roster bonus can convert, and it becomes pretty much guaranteed at any point anyways. But to say it's not going to be converted into a guarantee, it's just straight up a guarantee at the time of signing, that's a precedent the rest of the NFL didn't want to set.
Yeah, absolutely. I would have to agree with you. I think this precedent is one that a team would like to turn around as well. Let's stumble, and this is no pun intended, but let's stumble ourselves into the debacle that the Miami Dolphins did with Tua versus the Bengals. I think that is one that, with the injury, with the concussion protocol, with how it happened, taking another blow to the head, and there just seems to be some discrepancies about, doctors and what they decided to do, I think some people lost their jobs. There were some heads that rolled in that one. So what how do you feel about the Tua situation? Is that one you think that they should have turned around?
I hope Miami feels bad about it, the way they did him.
Yeah.
It was one thing when, 2.5 years into his career, they're having questions about, oh, is he the guy? Or are we sure about him? Are we going to look to trade him? We're going after Tom Brady. We're going to start him. And just kidding, your bench for Ryan Fitzpatrick, which is weird. So the way they handled his career wasn't great, but then to let him go back out there clearly woozy, clearly wobbling, and suffer a similar, if not the same, injury to his head that he had not long before, that's malpractice. That's abuse is what it turned into. And it stinks because Tua was having the best season of his career. You have Hill, you have Waddle. Things are fun in Miami. You have it all going. One hit from the Bills, it stung to see. You didn't want him to go out, but we've seen teams be so careful with their young guys before. Miami said, nope, you're back out there. Go get them. And here's the thing. It's one thing if it's the 70s or 80s where you take your smelling salts, you get run out there. No one can tell that, you got your bell rung a second time. This was on national TV for everyone to see. In the middle of a breakout season where everyone's talking about him already. The Dolphins created a bigger problem from an unfortunate situation.
Yeah, I thought that was one that was difficult. I know time is coming up a little bit, but I want to throw two more at you. The last one, I there might be some people that definitely tap in on this one. But what about the Jacksonville Urban Meyer hire? Well, no. Look, that was bad. Quick touch that one, but the real one I wanted to talk about was A.J. Brown
from the
Titans. That I know the Titans are sick right now to their stomach that they let that young man go.
The thing is, I think the Titans knew how good a player they had, and I don't think they necessarily see anything wrong with what they did. Like, oh yeah, we had to get younger, we had to get cheaper. They were counting on.
So they put their money in their stock in other
places. Exactly.
Yeah.
In Tannehill, who got hurt, didn't finish the season out. In a rookie receiver whose physical profile was pretty similar to A.J. Brown, but again, unproven rookie with 1 year of production. It's hard to let good players walk, especially for what they did. Yeah, they got a little bit back in trade for him, but not what his value actually is.
Not at all.
Not close. And it's one thing if you look at the way Kansas City did it, where they sent Tyreek Hill away because he was going to ask for more money than they wanted to pay him. Questionable decision on its face, but the Chiefs drafted well with the draft picks they used. And they have a legit number one player in the NFL in Patrick Mahomes. Ryan Tannehill is a fine, average, maybe even sometimes above average NFL starting quarterback. He's not Patrick Mahomes. That's a guy who needs help. Patrick Mahomes creates his own help. He makes other guys better. Ryan Tannehill hasn't done that. He needed someone like A.J. Brown, especially if Derrick Henry's going to get hurt like he was. You need a viable option there. The tight ends were inconsistent. You didn't even have a number two really behind A.J. Brown consistently. So I get it. He was going to be expensive, but if I'm the Titans, I would have rather paid A.J. Brown than Derrick Henry.
Yeah, I mean, I think receivers, skill position guys like that are definitely in the NFL of the day is more valuable than at the running back position. We're seeing that with what's going on with Dak. I mean, not Dak, but with Zeke, and when you kind of overpay a guy or highly draft a guy, you can find guys in the 6th, 7th round that are tremendous running backs. Pacheco, just look at what they did, and as far as what they found in that. Last one before we go to break and do shootout with Strick in the new format. Let's ride. Let's ride. Signing Russell Wilson, $245 million extension with $165 of it guaranteed. They doubled down. And did they win or lose, including 2 first-round and 2 second-round draft picks for the 9-time Pro Bowl quarterback?
Oh, they lost. They went for a splash. And I think this was a 2-part L for the Broncos in that it's one thing to trade for Russell Wilson. Okay, maybe questionable swing, but you can at least see the argument for it. I mean, he's better than what they have had, at least his track record is since Peyton retired. So, okay, I get it. You think you can have a guy for 3-4 years at a pretty high level. They chose to put their rose-colored glasses on and not see some of the signs that Russ is, well, maybe not the same guy he was, for the 5 years previously. The second part of the L, though, was hiring Nathaniel Hackett to be the head coach and thinking that he was going to bring Aaron Rodgers along with him. It doesn't work out, so you force him to work with a different quarterback, one that's declining without any legitimate head coaching experience, and it just compounded everything.
Yeah, you're onto it right that. What do you guys think? 402-464-5685. Is there something that we missed? Was there a thought, that, we kind of brushed over or didn't go a little bit deeper on? We'd love to hear your thoughts on that. But we've got to go do shootout with Strick next in the new format. Dang it, I've come up short at the buzzer for the last 2 days.
We're going up your alley this time. Nebraska basketball transfers in recent history.
Still not in my alley.
I
Get out
think
of
it
here.
is.
We'll be right back. 93.7 The Ticket on the block. Hold on.
WWE Friday Night SmackDown comes to Lincoln's Pinnacle Bank Arena, 6:45 this Friday.
I am back.
You'll see Drew McIntyre, Braun Strowman, Charlotte Flair, Sami Zayn, and more. And from Monday Night Raw, the OC Snoop Gallows and Carl Anderson face the Judgment Day's Damian Priest and Dominic Mysterio, and more. Tickets are at $20. Available now at Ticketmaster.
Are you planting this spring? Make safety your priority. LES requires any landscaping or trees to be planted a safe distance from electrical lines and equipment to give crews safe access. Visit les.com/trees to learn more.
Landscape Supply countless times, likely without even knowing, at 6701 Cornhusker Highway. But now it's time to stop in. GE Landscape Supply sells and contractors with a vast selection of landscaping and construction material. They sell in bulk to save you money, buying anything from a 5-gallon bucket to a semi-load. They deliver anywhere, and if you mention you heard this ad on 93.7 The Ticket, they'll deliver in town for free through the month of April with some restrictions applying. Go to gelandscapesupply.com for more info or call 402-467-1627.
Rashawn Jackson here for Bauer Underground, who has been serving local contractors and utility contractors all across the state since 1997. When you see the black and white trucks, you know the baddest dudes in the business have arrived. Bauer is currently looking for equipment operators, laborers, diesel mechanics, and aerial linemen. Join the brotherhood built on hard work, authentic people, and pedigree of success. Bauer, a family-friendly company who reminds you, go big.
Shopping for new flooring is different today. Getting your questions answered, making the right selection, getting the best value, and installed quickly and professionally. Visit ostreetcarpet.com or shop our store. We'll answer all your questions and help you make the right choice. You'll be enjoying your new floor in just days for less than you'd pay elsewhere. Carpet, vinyl, wood, laminate, tile, and area rugs. We've got it all.
O Street Carpet.
1732 O Street. Family owned and operated. Always the best value.
Working at Continental in Lincoln isn't a job, it's a career. And right now they've raised wages again and they're hiring for production operators at $24.11 per hour, which grows to $28.27 per hour within 3 years. Skilled trade positions now start at $32.76 per hour with opportunities to make more based on certifications. Continental also has salary jobs available and great benefits, plus medical and prescription costs at very low premiums. Dental, vision, and life insurance are offered at no premium cost to the associates, with increased bonuses and vacation for new hires. To learn more or to apply, go to continental-jobs.com with keyword Lincoln. Come work at Continental today.
Hi, everyone. Kendall Warnock, A1 Automotive in downtown Lincoln. Spring is here. Summer is fast approaching. With weddings, vacations, and things on your mind, do not let car issues prevent you from getting where you need to be. Car problems shouldn't be something that you put up with. Let us get you back on the road in comfort and safety. We diagnose all makes and models from Porsches to Hondas, Toyotas, and Chevrolets. We fix a variety of issues with all of them with our talented techs and our experienced staff. A1 Automotive at 11th and L, downtown Lincoln, always honest answers.
Lincoln Earth Day is on Saturday, April 15th at UNL's Innovation Campus. Green vehicles, local foods, live music, and fun family-friendly activities from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. Sponsored by Johanna Rhodes Real Estate. More event details at rhoadshomes.com.
Motor Food is Lincoln's hardest rocking food truck and cafe. Motor Food creates old school comfort food with a 21st century twist and lots of rock and roll attitude. Try the barbecue pulled pork mac and cheese, the grilled chicken Firebird sandwich, a 100% all beef split grilled hot dog, and any version of their funky fries. Stop by the cafe just behind Outback Steakhouse on 48th Street or catch the food truck out and about all spring and summer. Check out their menu, order carry out, or schedule catering at motorfoodtruck.com.
The Empire brand is growing with ESC fabrication and sandblasting. ESC is your place for custom handrails, industrial and commercial painting, and more. ESC provides custom welding for aluminum and stainless steel and media blasting of all sorts. ESC is great attention to detail. They stick to deadlines and keep within your budget. If you can dream it, they can make it. Contact ESC Fabrication and Sandblasting in Waverly today at 531-207-9329.
The Butchery by Venue is Lincoln's premier specialty grocers. Take the quality of Venue home with you with our hand-cut steaks, handcrafted burgers, and locally sourced offerings. Browse our wide selection of specialty products designed to enhance your dining experiences with cheeses, spices, sauces, and more. We also have an exclusive collection of liquors, whiskeys, and bourbons at prices you're sure to love. Stop in to the Butchery by Venue today, located in our Venue at Home storefront at 70th and Pioneers, just 2 doors down from Venue Restaurant and Lounge.
Finally, a good reason to have a house. Just say, Alexa, play 93.7 The Ticket, and we'll magically start playing. How's it work? Nobody knows. Don't ask questions. It's time to play Shootout with Strick. Call 464-5685 to take your shot against Eric Strickland. Shootout with Strick. Brought to you by Buffalo Wings and Rings.
Time to play the game!
That's right. 402-464-5685. Number for you to call. Play the Shootout with Strick. Nebraska ball transfers. We have some in the news and some potentially in the works for Nebraska. They get Rink Mast from Bradley yesterday, as well as Bryce Williams from Charlotte. But Strick, don't worry, we're not going too far back. All these questions will be from the 2013-14 season on, so you don't have to dip too far into the memory bank, at least.
Cool, no problem. Let's get it.
That is his plan.
I'm feeling kind of generous, so I may lose a Stricken today.
How kind of you?
Because that's how we've been doing. Remember we've been talking about Donahue and all of the, I might do a little shade today to give away to Stricken.
That'd be very kind of you.
I'm gonna try to play. I'm a competitor.
Almost too kind of you.
I'm a competitor. I'm gonna play the game. Let's go. You play to win the game. Let's go.
That you do. So yeah, Nebraska ball transfers is the topic for today. Strick, can you take over for a sec here while I double check my work one last time before we get going?
Sure. Go ahead and call in on the Honda Lincoln hotline, 402-464-5685. Love to play the game with you. It is a fun game. It is time for us to be able to interact with one another. And you guys usually win, and sometimes I win, and I'm the champ too. But it's I like the new format a little bit, Austin. I'm kind of intrigued by the way that you did it. You get a little layup, one that's a little bit easier, and it seems to get progressively harder as we move up the line. I'm excited too about going down to Kansas City. Haven't been to Kansas City in a while. Nate's been telling me great things about it. Nate Brennan, friend of the show, used to be on the block here. I'm gonna go down and spend some time with my daughter. So it's gonna be a great time. Hope the weather holds up. I hear that it might change on the weekend. You get down to about 50, 60, but that's manageable for us.
Oh yeah,
So,
that's just spring.
It's not a problem.
We do have a contestant for you, Strick. We go to the Honda of Lincoln hotline. Welcome in, Neil. Neil, how's it going today?
Good. How are you?
Glad to hear. Doing well here. Thank you much. Hold on the line here. We'll give Strick his questions first, and then we'll get to you here on the shootout. All right, Strick, round one. You ready?
Yeah.
Let's do it. 3, 2, and 1. He averaged the most rebounds per game at Nebraska. Juwan Gary or Derek Walker?
Walker.
It was Gary. He averaged the most assists per game at Nebraska. Cam Mack or Alonzo Verge?
Mack.
Yep. He shot the best percentage on free throws at Nebraska. Keisei Tamanaga or Teddy Allen?
Tamanaga.
It was Teddy Allen. And he was the leading scorer in Fred Hoiberg's first season at Nebraska.
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4.
Siobhan Shields.
A good guess. This guy was a transfer. Hanif Cheatham was the leading scorer for that Nebraska ball team.
Dang it. Dang it. I stink.
You got the free
I
throw.
told you I was giving away the Stricken today. I knew it. I felt it.
All right, Neil, you need 1 point to win. Basically, get any question right and you win. Do you like your chances?
I didn't get any right.
I got one. You got your free throw, but it's 1 point. You go 2 points, 1 point, 3 points, and 4 points.
Shoot.
So, all right, Neil, your round of the shootout comes up here in 3, 2, and 1. He averaged the most points per game at Nebraska. Teran Petaway or James Palmer Jr.?
James Palmer Jr.
Yep, he played the most games at Nebraska. Derek Walker or Walter Pitchford?
Ooh, let's go Derek Walker.
Yep, he's the tallest transfer recruited to Nebraska. Walter Pitchford or Blaze Cada?
Blaze Cada.
Yep, and he was the leading rebounder for the 15-16 season at Nebraska.
15, 16.
10,
Gosh darn it. Can't think of the kid's name. I think he transferred out from driving nuts. I don't got it.
The answer is Andrew White III. He was not the leading scorer, but he was the leading rebounder. One season at Nebraska, but he got it done. And unfortunately, Strick, I do have to do this.
Finish him. Boom shakalaka. Give me a hell yeah. I said give me a hell
Well done.
yeah.
Well done.
Neil, you got the streak
Well
in
done.
$15 to Buffalo Wings and Rings. Congrats on the win.
Thanks, sir.
You bet. Hold on the line. We'll get your information down for you. But as always, we send it back to the studio for the tiebreaker with Rico. Okay. Rico, I'm going to make you go first this time.
Yep, that makes sense.
That's how we're doing this. Okay. Since and including the 2013-14 season.
Ooh.
In how many seasons has a transfer player led Nebraska men's basketball in scoring?
Transfer. Since 2013-14?
Since the 2013-14 season, including that season.
I'm going to go 5.
Stricky. Over under 5.
What years?
Since the 2013-14 season through this last season.
Under.
The answer is over. 8 times. 8 times. Turan Petaway did it twice. JPJ did it twice. The only 2 seasons that a non-transfer has led the way in scoring, Ty Webster and Bryce McGowan's.
Stupid.
4-0.
I'm not even. I want to throw something right now. But I'm going to be good.
We appreciate
Remember,
that.
I told you I was going to work on myself this year.
You're doing great, Strick. We appreciate that. Let's reset. Let's get to hour 2 of the show. Talk some more basketball. DeMar DeRozan's daughter stole the show last night. Maybe the defensive MVP for the Bulls at the free throw line. We'll talk about that and other iconic fans in sports. Some of Strick's favorite courtside interactions. We'll do all of that and more when we get back here on the block.
Lincoln Earth Day is on Saturday, April 15th at UNL's Innovation Campus. Green vehicles, local foods, live music, and fun family-friendly activities from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. Sponsored by Johanna Rhodes Real Estate. More event details at rhoadshomes.com.
This is Lincoln's home for sports talk on the FM dial. Also online at theticketfm.com.
On the internet.
KNTK FM Firth, 93.7 The Ticket.
Nebco is hiring CDL drivers for Ready Mix Concrete, Husker Concrete, and Beatrice Concrete. Nebco offers great pay, medical, and retirement benefits, paid time off, and we pay for CDL training. Apply today to earn an average total compensation of $50,000 to $60,000 your first year driving. From Nebco's beginnings in 1998, it's the employees that have formed the company's solid foundation. Start your career today. Visit nebcoinc.com. That's NEBCOINC.com.
WWE Friday Night SmackDown comes to Lincoln's Pinnacle Bank Arena, 6:45 this Friday. I am back. You'll see Drew McIntyre, Braun Strowman, Charlotte Flair, Sami Zayn, and more. And from Monday Night Raw, the OC's Luke Gallows and Carl Anderson face the Judgment Day's Damian Priest and Dominic Mysterio, and more. Tickets start at $20. Available now at Ticketmaster.
Are you planting this spring? Make safety your priority. LES requires any landscaping or trees to be planted a safe distance from electrical lines and equipment to give crews safe access. Visit les.com/trees to learn more.
Hey, it's Nicklin Hames from Nebraska Volleyball. I hate wasting time in practice, and I want to help you stop wasting your time when you're looking for an electrician. High Electric has been serving the area for over 30 years for both residential and commercial properties. They are experts in everything like remodeling, new additions, hot tub installation, and more. And they take jobs from Beatrice to Omaha and all towns, big or small, in between. Call them today at 402-466-6606 or learn more at high-electric.com.
You've driven by GE Landscape Supply countless times. likely without knowing at 6701 Cornhusker Highway. But now it's time to stop in. GE Landscape Supply sells to homeowners and contractors with a vast selection of landscaping and construction material. They sell in bulk to save you money, buying anything from a 5-gallon bucket to a semi-load. They deliver anywhere, and if you mention you heard this ad on 93.7 The Ticket, they'll deliver in town for free through the month of April with some restrictions applying. Go to GELandscapeSupply.com for more info or call 402-467-1627.
Whether you like fishing together or fishing to get away, for the thrill of reeling in a big one, or just going out to have a good time, on the banks of your local pond, at a bend in a river, or on one of our many lakes and reservoirs, you'll always find the perfect place to cast a line, here, beneath Nebraska skies. Start planning your next fishing adventure today at letsfishnebraska.com. Sponsoring of Game and Parks, aired with the Nebraska Broadcasters Association and this station.
Working at Continental in Lincoln isn't a job, it's a career. And right now they've raised wages again and they're hiring for production operators at $24.11 per hour, which grows to $28.27 per hour within 3 years. Trade positions now start at $32.76 per hour with opportunities to make more based on certifications. Continental also has salary jobs available and great benefits. Plus, medical costs at very low premiums. Dental, vision, and life insurance offered at no premium cost to the associates, with increased bonuses and vacation for new hires. To learn more or to apply, go to continental-jobs.com with keyword Lincoln. Come work at Continental today.
Hi, Sean Callahan here with Koppel Chevrolet GMC, and it is Truck Month at Koppel, and we are pulling out all of the stops for this gigantic event. The lots are starting to fill, and we have some great deals for you waiting in Louisville. Brand new GMC Sierra Light Duty and new Silverado Light Duty trucks. All trim levels have up to $4,000 in discounts. That's right, up to $4,000 off all new light duty trucks right now at Koppel, so do not wait. Now is the time to buy a new truck, so stop on in or visit us online at koppelcars.com. You must have a trade-in and finance with Koppel. All deals with approved credit.
Chances are you've tried fruitcake before. Chances are it looked pretty weird. Lots of colors that don't really exist in nature. Chances are it tasted weird. Chances are you need to try fruitcake again. Grandma's fruitcake from Beatrice Bakery. None of that weird stuff you didn't like, just real fruit, premium nuts, and the delicious flavor combination of brandy, bourbon, and rum to meld all that together. See for yourself. Grandma's fruitcake from Beatrice Bakery. Online at beatricebakery.com. Welcome to our world of yum.
93.7 The Ticket. Fox. KFXL weather. Brought to Bryant Air Conditioning, Heating, Electrical, and Plumbing.
Red flag warnings in effect this afternoon due to critical fire danger. It will be hot and windy. South winds gusting near 40 with a high of 88. And mainly clear with a low of 59. We'll see a high of 83 tomorrow. South winds again gusting over 35 with a chance of scattered thunderstorms developing by evening. I'm meteorologist Tim Wright for 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
This is On the Block with Strick and Austin. Nebraska Basketball Hall of Famer and 9-year NBA vet, Eric Strickland.
Strickland for three! And you're going to go out of here as the Big 8 tournament champion.
Middle school basketball coaching legend and Duke basketball shooting coach in his mind, Austin Orman. Coming at you live from the heart of Lincoln, America. On air and online at theticketfm.com. Brought to you by Mary Ellen's Food for the Soul. This is On the Block with Strick and Austin.
Hour 2 of the show on a Thursday. Thanks for being with us here on the block. We're here 2 to 4 every weekday here on 93.7 The Ticket, theticketfm.com, and, of course, our streams, Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, and Twitter. Those are great places to not only listen to the show, but watch what's going on. See Strick and I chop it up live and in person. Allo Channel 951 also carries the stream. Yes, a television channel for radio. We got it all going on here at The Ticket. Big things happening, more to come.
Yeah, more to come, more in store as we get through the summer and we get through towards the fall. Yeah, expecting big things. Looking forward to next week. The spring game is going to be, we're going to be all hands on deck. Everybody will be tapping in for that as well. And see what Nebraska has to offer in the next week.
Absolutely. Strick, would you mind telling people about our wonderful show sponsor?
Our wonderful show sponsor is Mary Ellen's Food for the Soul. You guys got a chance to hear me sing yesterday. I know you didn't like it. You probably laughed at it and all of that. But don't laugh at the food that Mary Ellen's and the crew provides for you, because it is tasty, succulent, and wonderfully crafted and made. So go down there, have your way. Pine Lake, 27th and Pine Lake. Let them know that On the Block sent you.
Absolutely. Big basketball hour here in hour 2 of On the Block. We're going to talk about DeMar DeRozan's daughter stealing the show last night and some of Strick's fan interactions from college and the pros both. And then I believe we're going to have a conversation with Bernard Day, who you heard a story about him on Old School yesterday. If you didn't stick around about 3:30, we'll talk to him here on the show. A little bit of breaking news, Strick, before we get into the play-in games last night, specifically the Bulls and the Raptors. Some news on the Nebraska basketball recruiting front. Brady Dunlap, who's set to visit town this weekend, announces he's down to 5 schools. Nebraska is in that final 5, along with a fascinating list. North Carolina, Penn State, St. John's, and Villanova are the 5 schools for Brady Dunlap, the number 86 player overall in this coming class, a class of 2023 guy, 6'7" wing, known as a shooter, scorer type of guy, not the biggest in the world. He's from North Carolina originally, grew up there, but he and his family moved out to California. And Strick, Nebraska's really been going to California somewhat recently. Wilhelm Breidenbach from Modern Day out there. They get Ramel Lloyd from Sierra Canyon, and now potentially Brady Dunlap from Harvard Westlake out on the West Coast.
Yeah, it seems as that's what they're looking. They want to continue to make sure that they have strong shooting and shooters. He comes highly regarded in that list of things that he does well. Great list. Obviously going to be a great fit for him, whatever's going to be the fit that allows him to showcase his skill and talent. You can definitely watch Nebraska in the way that in the style that they play to know that those opportunities will be available to you if that's what you want to be able to do. So it's always good on the recruiting front to see these guys be able to pop their heads out. And what is he's 128th nationally. He's the 21st best player in the state, that's huge when you're talking about California, right? So yeah, let's see how it goes. I think they gotta continue to track those younger players to have a good balance between the transfer portal and those those young high school players that are coming out.
The thing that stood out to me when I look at that list, Strick, is if you look at the head coaches at all those places, Hubert Davis going into year 3. Mike Rhodes just got hired this offseason. Rick Pitino just got hired this offseason. And Kyle Neptune will be in his 2nd season at Villanova. Fred Hoiberg in year 5 is the most tenured, the most established of any of those coaches somehow.
Yeah, it's crazy. And that's crazy when you think about Fred's been here 5 years. One thing that I will say that I think that especially a young there's 2 different qualities of a coach that are looking for different things. Some are looking for the splashes, right?
Would you say that was the first couple of years of transfer recruiting at Nebraska?
Yeah, I think they were looking for splash type guys, right? Then you've got to look at character, and you've got to look at what the style and what the chemistry of the team is going to be made of. And you want to be able to pick, place, and put those guys so that it is a cohesive mesh that allows the team to get the most. You don't have to be the most talented. And I say this all the time. I remember, man, listen, we used to go out to Vegas. We used to have this team. Now it's an AAU team. There's got multiples of them, but we used to have a team where it was the Nebraska State, national team. And we would all have to try out for it. It was very Olympic style. And the best of Nebraska would kind of come together and play. Now, some of us were super athletic. You had Badgett, me, Woolridge, Curtis Marshall, guys like that we would have on the team that would be super athletic. And then we would have guys like Jason Glock and Chad Adias and, the Markowski types and Bruce Chubbuck types. You know what I mean? We would have guys that were just scrappers, hustlers, guys that can get the job done. And it was a good mixture because we would create and, create space and create opportunities and kick it. But those guys were knockdown shooters. And so a lot of teams that faced us would be they would just think they were going to roll over us, but we were very fundamentally sound. We rebounded. We played beyond our size. And what you thought you were going to get just because we were sitting in the middle of the states, you ended up getting your head beat in because you overlooked us. You know what I mean? I mean, it literally took a Jimmy King who ended up in Michigan, Ostertag, and like crazy, like it was like a couple more. I couldn't remember who they are. They were like super high recruits out of Texas to beat us one year, and they didn't beat us bad. They beat us, but they didn't blow us out, right? And then it took a Jason Kidd with two centers that ended up going to LSU, 7-footers, to beat us by a last second tip in. Jason Kidd freaking falling down after a rebound off balance, hits the ball towards the rim and it goes in. That's how they beat us. Right?
What the heck?
So I'm saying that I think that's the blueprint of this new college age is putting pieces together that are not bucking heads like what you got down in Dallas with, Kyrie and Luka, but they're actually pieces that fit, and it's you getting them to understand that you're an important piece. You fit, although you may be a pawn, you're important to making sure the queen can get to whatever we need to get to win this chess game. You know what I'm saying?
Does it matter which position 1 through 5 has the talent versus the scrap, or is the fit more important than which position is, the talented one?
Well, the place that you really want to have, I would say, your most talented pieces is at your point guard and maybe your 2 guard position.
Okay.
If you have a good combination similar to what Gonzaga had, I think Gonzaga didn't have strong point guard play as they had in the past. If they were able to have that strong point guard play with Timmy, that makes, if you have that good combination between, a guard and a center, that meshed. It came down for like Purdue at the end where they got exposed because they had young point guards and off guards, that the tension of the moment wasn't able, because you can scheme for a big man in college basketball to be taken out of it, right? There's ways to take him out. It's tough when you've got a guy like Marcus Noel and guys like that who can create space, create opportunities, and drop dimes to guys that, you may not expect, and then have guys show up that you may not expect because, guys can get hot, but you can scheme for other guys.
The NBA, the modern NBA at least, feels like a wings game. 6'6" to 6'9", that can handle the ball, that can go get their own shot, can play on both sides of the ball.
Yeah.
College basketball, still and probably forever, will be a guards game.
Yeah. No, I mean, you're talking my language. That's it. It is very guard dominated. If you've got good guards, this is why I didn't expect them to go as deep, but I could see why. And I said, yeah, you know what? They've got a chance. It went beyond the coaching there at Michigan State. It went beyond that. To me, it got into who you had when Hogar and Walker, those guys were getting it done. And that's how you was able to overcome, right? And then the further you got down the line, you kind of got some combinations of that when you got in the FAU where they had guard wing with some center, a solid play. They had across the board balance. But then you see guards that struggle because you just don't have that chemistry. That's why you got North Carolina they got great guards. That's not the key. That's not the problem. But they just had guards that didn't do it the right way.
You brought up Gonzaga a second ago, and Eric on the text line says, "Hey, Strick, I respect your opinion the most of anyone." Well done, Eric, as you should. That's why we have him here in studio, to drop that knowledge. Eric's question: what is your opinion of Hunter Salas? Eric says he doesn't think he's a fit for Nebraska and he's overhyped.
That's a tough one because I do know the family, and so that's a tough one for me. But I will say his defensive style fits for what Nebraska wants to do. Long, he can get after the best of them. I'm talking. I even think he's even better defensively as Badnamil.
Woo!
And I mean that. He's got that ability. He's got great feet, long arms, and he becomes a problem. An area that I think his skill set is solid is his ability to get downhill. So if you're playing a open free style, he's a guy that can turn corners, get behind screens, create space. He's got a great floater and great mid-range. That's something that's been missing. That's something I would love to see from a CJ Wilcher. But we don't have that. We don't have anybody outside of Tamanaga that has the ability right now to do that. Greasel was a 1-2 counter guy with post abilities. He didn't even have that in his game for the most part, right?
Mm-hmm.
So he has that ability in the open court, because that's one of the things we talked about is in the open court, Austin. We need to get easier opportunities because it was so freaking hard for us to score. He has that ability. That's the kind of ability he has. So I don't think he's elite. So I would agree with you, Eric. I think he could learn the point guard position. Yes. I think watching him against Chucky gave me pause in the earlier stages of his career. Could he get there now? I think it's possible. He is not a shoot first type of guy. So yes, that part of it as well. So fit, I think he could. I think he could with the style that Nebraska is actually playing right now. He can shoot the ball too now. He can shoot threes, but he has the ability. The one that I really am high on is Latrell Ricel Jr. His 3-level scoring abilities are next level. And I'm talking about his ability to get to where he wants to, how he wants to, and lose you in doing it. He's got that. Mm-hmm. So that's my thought on it.
So one last question on this. You said he could learn point guard if he had to. Say he does come to Nebraska. Would Nebraska want him to learn point guard?
I would think so, because it seems that's their style.
Okay.
It seems like when you got Greasel, you've got Romel. You those guys are bigger guys. It looks like he wants to create a mismatch type of situation and put it into an advantage for Nebraska and bringing in guys with that size. That's why you're moving Jamarcus Lawrence over a little bit. You let him play a little bit at the point, but Jamarcus is more of a downhill guy, and he's capable of creating space. He's one of those guys. I did miss him. He's actually outside of Tamanaga, the next one.
That's the reason I ask, would you want him to, is because would it be simpler for him to say hound 94 feet and get downhill as the 2?
I mean, yeah, if you wanted to get him out on the wing and push it up to him and let him do it that way, yeah, do it that way. You could do that.
He doesn't have to play point all the time, but at least have it in the bag, right?
Well, the thing about Nebraska is they all don't have to play the point with the style that they play.
True.
Their style is not this. It's not the old Michael Jordan, the triangle offense. The triangle offense is meant for you not to have a point guard. Mm-hmm. Anybody can freaking bring the ball. It's all by position. It's by read. It's by react and respond to whatever the defense is trying to do, not do. And it doesn't make you have to handle. So, like, for example, it's always a 2-guard front with a triangle. So when you're running the triangle, you don't have to face pressure. You just hit the other guy. If there's pressure there, you send the weak side guy up into the top of the key area, hit him, and then action begins. So you really don't ever have to face pressure. That's what it's designed for. That's why Derek Fisher and all those guys they would pass, or they would flow up, or they would hit up and then cut through. It was all a flow. That's all Nebraska's offense is. It's just some form of a flow with a kick to the big man, hand it over. The big man can bring it up, handoffs, then you get into action. So that's why I'm saying you don't necessarily need the true point guard in Nebraska. It's good to have, but you don't have to with the style of offense that they run unless they're going to change it.
Byron asked something along the same lines. Can Latrell play point? And I think you just answered that, Strick.
Yes, sir.
He can, but he doesn't necessarily have to be the traditional number 1 point guard.
Yeah, he can. That's what he was there. He can do that. He can distribute. He can, but when I tell you his 3-level scoring is next level, and it doesn't matter if it's Power 5 or what conference he's playing in. He showed it.
Buckets or buckets.
Yes, sir.
I believe Nebraska has 2 scholarships remaining at this point. We mentioned Dunlap at the start of the segment, and then the targets that are still out there are Wrightsell and Salas, and then McCollum from Siena and Hugley from Pitt, who will all be visiting here pretty soon. Before we get to Bernard Daystrick, I did want to ask you, DeMar DeRozan's daughter last night, not the sole reason the Bulls won the game, but she was screaming her guts out. She was on the broadcast. She made herself a factor. The Raptors go 18 of 36 from the free throw line in a 4-point loss. I'm going to give her credit for it. I'm going to say she helped the Bulls win the game. Do you remember any loud fans, any crazy fans like that, whether in college or pros, any that stick out?
I mean, like I said, in times past, the Antlers were bad.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, they would have a post boards like you would want to be on your P's and Q's with them because they did research. Like, I don't know how they did it, but they did research, and they would put, oh, your girlfriend, we know she's this, or, you know, yeah, we know that you're a prop 48. And like, they would have posters and stuff. Like, they would literally try to get in your head. There was no one specific. I think Toronto fans, sometimes they had guys that would sit behind there. But my the greatest fan of all time for me was a gentleman, and you see him on, it was the craziest things. He would be at one game in LA, and then he'd be at another game in Texas, and then he'd be at another game in New York, and he's always sitting on the freaking front row, and he's always, every player goes over and says hello to him. I used to talk to him regularly when we'd go play in LA. His dress is like off the chain. Like he always wears these hats and glittery type joints and the boots, and he's laced. His name is Jimmy Goldstein. He's a guy, he's a super fan. And when I tell you, since I've been playing, now he looks like he looks the same as when I was still playing. I don't know if he's found the fountain of youth or whatever the case may be, but he looks the freaking same. Jimmy Goldstein, look him up. Yeah, man, that man right there. I seen him. I mean, you would see him all over the place. And I'm telling you, we would play from the east to the west, and I'd be like, bro, didn't I just see you in LA? You're in Miami now? Like, where did that come from?
Oh,
that's
goodness
him.
gracious.
Oh, I'm telling you, he can dress I used to think he was a roadie. I used to think he freaking lived in his car and he just drove everywhere. And no, but he's living a life, bro. He's living his best life. NBA style.
He looks like he would have been a roadie for like the Who or the Grateful Dead or something like that.
Yeah.
So here's another hypothetical for you, Strick. DeMar said that he didn't even plan on bringing his daughter to the game. Of course, you know, she was up in Toronto when DeMar was up there. And she called him and said, Dad, can I come to the Toronto game? And DeMar said, I remember her going to all the Toronto games since she was a kid. And I almost said no because she's in school back home, but she kept asking. She was adamant about coming. And DeMar said, all right, you can miss one day of school and come to a game. And he's not letting her go to Miami now. She did her part. She played her role, and he's not letting her come to the game. Come on, Dad.
Yeah, there's multiple parts to that, right? I think that if that had been anybody else's daughter, there could have been some scrutinies and some things, but because it was his daughter, that changed that whole dynamic. Because I when I heard it, I was like, that is irritating. Now it worked in a couple occasions, except for Fred VanVleet, but I would have been irritated. Now I guarantee you, possibly if that was not his daughter, that people would have been like, or you would have had freaking LeBron go over and say, get her out of here. No, I'm just playing. That was a joke. You know how LeBron's been getting people kicked out the games and stuff. So that was a joke. Other players have been doing that too. That's crazy to me that players are kicking fans out. That's unbelievable to me at all, at another level. But I think it's great for her to be able to do that and be out there feeling like she's supporting her dad. So I will say that part, but it's kind of a dual type of thing. And so it's different. Toronto is different from Miami. And you may not want baby girl down there in a Miami atmosphere, acting like that. You know what I'm saying? So it's very possible that might happen. Not happen. I would be cautious of that myself.
Understood. She's essentially the new Vandy Whistler for the NBA. Is kind of what she became. Yeah.
Oh shoot. Okay.
Hope not. I don't want to give her that reputation, but she did her part. She helped the Bulls win. They're on to South Beach.
They're on their way. And I said it. I said how it was gonna go down. Giddy, I thought was Shout out to Siakam, and that goes back to what you said about those wing players, Levine, Siakam. It was those wing guys that are the ones that are thriving, to include Tatum and so forth and so on. Durant and all of them are all these wing type of players.
Absolutely. We're going to step aside. On the other side, special conversation coming up. Bernard Day, former Nebraska basketball player, will join the show. We'll step aside, get connected with him, and have that conversation for you next.
Lincoln Earth Day is on Saturday, April 15th at UNL's Innovation Campus. Green vehicles, local foods, live music, and fun, family-friendly activities from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. Sponsored by Johanna Rhodes Real Estate. More event details at rhoadshomes.com.
You've driven by GE Landscape Supply countless times, likely without even knowing, at 6701 Cornhusker Highway. But now it's time to stop in. GE Landscape Supply sells to homeowners and contractors with a vast selection of landscape and construction material. They sell in bulk to save you money, buying anything from a 5-gallon bucket to a semi-load. They deliver anywhere, and if you mention you heard this ad on 93.7 The Ticket, they'll deliver in town for free through the month of April with some restrictions applying. Go to GELandscapesupply.com for more info or call 402-467-1627.
Motor Food is Lincoln's hardest rocking food truck and cafe. Motor Food creates old school comfort food with a 21st century twist and lots of rock and roll attitude. Try the barbecue pulled pork mac and cheese, the grilled chicken Firebird sandwich, a 100% all beef split grilled hot dog, and any version of their funky fries. Stop by the cafe just behind Outback Steakhouse on 48th Street or catch the food truck out and about all spring and summer. Check out their menu, order carryout, or schedule catering at motorfoodtruck.com.
Shopping for insurance can be a frustrating and tedious task. Brokers Insurance Agency in Lincoln has a full staff of licensed professional agents who will do the work all for you. Brokers utilizes over 20 insurance companies to save their clients money. Brokers Insurance Agency will always do what is in the client's best interest and will find the best program to fit your needs. Call Brokers Insurance Agency today at 402-420-5353 to get a quote today, or find us online at brokersinsuranceNE.com.
WWE Friday Night SmackDown comes to Lincoln's Pinnacle Bank Arena, 6:45 this Friday. I am back. You'll see Drew McIntyre, Braun Strowman, Charlotte Flair, Sami Zayn, and more. And from Monday Night Raw, the OC Snoop Gallows and Carl Anderson face the Judgment Day's Damian Priest and Dominic Mysterio, and more. Tickets start at $20. Available now at Ticketmaster.
Where will your path take you, traveler? To seek fortune in a new career, or on a journey to distant lands for a well-deserved vacation? Wherever you go, one distraction could spell disaster. You can change your fate, adventurer. Don't drive distracted. Paid for by the NDOT Highway Safety Office.
Public schools are the cornerstones of our communities, and it's communities that ensure students have great public schools. I'm Jenny Benson, president of the Nebraska State Education Association. Learning happens at home, in school, and everywhere in between. We all have a role to play in supporting student learning in the classroom and beyond. Help us make this the best school year yet.
Sponsored by the Nebraska State Education Association, aired by the Nebraska Broadcasters Association and station.
There's never been a better time to earn more on your checking account. Open a free Kasasa Cash checking account with Liberty First Credit Union and earn up to 5.5% APY for up to $40,000. It's simple. Open your Kasasa Cash checking account online or stop into any of the 4 Lincoln locations or Seward and Omaha branches. Liberty First makes switching easy, and Kasasa checking is always free. See libertyfirstcu.com for details. Federally insured by NCUA. Liberty First Credit Union. Banking with purpose.
It's April, and that means the school year is almost over and summer road trips are on the horizon. Stop telling yourself you'll upgrade your car someday and do it now. Mullen Motors lot is full of great vehicles to take home, so don't have to worry about your current car barely surviving another road trip. Come check out their lot just north of 48th and Layton and find your next ride. Road trips are just around the corner. Mullen Motors.
No taglines, just quality vehicles. Mullen Motors.
Chances are you've tried fruitcake before. Chances are it looked pretty weird. Lots of colors that don't really exist in nature. Chances are it tasted weird. Chances are you need to try fruitcake again. Grandma's fruitcake from Beatrice Bakery. None of that weird stuff you didn't like, just real fruit, premium nuts, and the delicious flavor combination of brandy, bourbon, and rum to meld all that together. See for yourself. Grandma's fruitcake from Beatrice Bakery. Online at beatricebakery.com. Welcome to our world of yum. Mary Ellen's Food for the Soul. Smoked meats, amazing sides. The only problem when they fix you a plate is that at some point, that plate will be empty. But hear me out. What if that plate was never empty? That dream can be your reality with the Mary Ellen's Express Lunch Buffet. From 11 to 2 every Wednesday, Friday, and even Saturday. One price, all you can eat, and it even comes with a drink. Tell your boss you're taking a long lunch and get down there. Mary Ellen's Food for the Soul at 29th and Pine Lake. Let them fix you a plate.
Whether you like fishing together or fishing to get away, for the thrill of reeling in a big one, or just going out to have a good time, on the banks of your local pond, at a bend in a river, or on one of our many lakes and reservoirs, you'll always find the perfect place to cast a line. Here, beneath Nebraska skies. Start planning your next fishing adventure today at letsfishnebraska.com. Sponsored by Nebraska Game and Parks, aired with the Nebraska Broadcasters Association and this station.
Now back to On the Block with Strick and Austin on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Yeah. Joining us back on the block. It is me and Austin Orman, 2 to 4 every day right here. Twitch, Twitter, YouTube, Facebook, and now where can they find us, Austin?
Allo, channel 951.
You know it. Allo, channel 951 is where you can also find us now. We are live on TV. That is a bless. And sitting in here, the man that made it happen, the myth, the legend, is DP, joining us with another legend, super undersized forward, but could get it done in multiple facets. He was before his time, and he was still that guy. 1986, 87, Bernard Day joining us. What's going on, B. Deezy?
Oh, not too much, man. Just living life.
You're looking good.
Hey, appreciate it. I'm trying to do something to stay in shape.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. BD put up some big numbers, averaging almost 13 points a game, shooting over 50%. Super rebounder, at his size and just help the Huskers to get the job done. He's one of the guys that I was looking at when I was in junior high and looking down here, trying to find out and find my way. Do I want to stay? And all that good stuff. And just, he was a guy that was similar to me, when I played the game. There really wasn't a position for us. We just were players, right? Exactly. Yeah. Tell us about your time here in Nebraska. What made you make the decision to want to come here and just you've stayed? And I think that's the thing that people don't understand most about Nebraska is that most folks, when they come here, it grows on them and they end up making it their home. Tell us a little bit about your journey.
Yeah, I came from junior college, and Dana Altman recruited me in junior college. And at first, I wasn't going to go to junior college. I was going to just go out to Oregon State, hang out there. When I went for a visit, AC Green was there at the time. This other guy, Derek Flowers, and and it was like
that was before GP.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And then I got out there, man, took that visit, and I did like it. The legendary coach that was out there, and because of what was going on in high school at the time, I was ready to drop out of high school and everything, man, because I had a son back then, and it was like, do I really want to do this?
Mm-hmm.
And then my brother was my high school coach, talked me into staying. And so I ended up staying, then all of a sudden, these letters start coming in from different colleges. And it was like, man, I got something going on here. Let me go ahead and stick with it.
Mm-hmm.
And then as I stuck with it, Coach Altman came in and, he was like, I want you to come and play at Fairbury because that's where he was at first. And then he ended up going to Moberly Junior College in Missouri. And then I ended up saying, what the heck, man, I'll just.
And it's crazy. He ended up at Creighton.
Yeah.
That's crazy, right?
Exactly.
He ends up at Creighton, being Creighton coach, and had a great 10-year career after that.
And a lot of people were asking, why didn't he come to Nebraska? And it was like, I think Coach Neat was still here at that time. So, it wasn't no need for a coaching change at that point because the players he was bringing in, man.
Yeah.
Y'all had some talent, some big talent then. Yeah. And so, and it was like after that, I ended up in JUCO. We had 2 good seasons. My second season, we had Mitch Richmond, Charles Bledsoe, this guy Mike Milling, who ended up going to Charlotte, and then we had another guy, Jimmy McCrimmon, who was from Florida, one of Mitch's boys. And, and it was like that five right there. We would play against anybody in the country, to tell you the truth.
Mitch made my career. And how it made my career was I had just came back to the NBA, went up to Vancouver, had a game. My second game starting before the big trade was made, I had to play Mitch Richmond. And I guarded Mitch Richmond. My second game, all-star, held him to 21, and I had 25. He made my career. DP, what you know about this wonderful talent right here, man? You was able to drag him in. I said when they said, man, we're gonna have BD, I said, BD, yes, sir. Bring him in the studio. Tell us about how you was able to connect with BD and your thoughts on the wonderful man sitting next to me.
It's all crazy. All of this is crazy that, and I told this story yesterday on Old School that, I get a message on Facebook and I'm not friends with the person. So it comes up, hey, and it says, hey, do you know Red Jenkins? Now, Red Jenkins is a legendary high school basketball coach in D.C. So much so, I mean, to say that he's one of the 10, 20 greatest high school coaches ever is not an overstatement. Coach Tommy Amaker, like won title after title, was the DC coach in the Capital Classic 3 times, I believe. Over the course of one of those teams, he had Bernard Day on his team. And I get the message, hey, do you know Red? I'm like, yeah, I know Red, man. And he says, yeah, he said to look you up. So he sends me a conversation between him and Red. He says, my dude's out in Lincoln, hook up with him. I'm like, well, good for Red, good for me. And then I hit and I'm like, wait a minute. I remember a high school cat from D.C. named Bernard Day. Maybe that's the same one, but it said he lived in Lincoln. I'm like, what? Like, this is kind of weird. I'm like, oh, he played at the University of Nebraska. We set up a get-together for this week. In the meanwhile, 2 days later, I get another message from him. And he's got a screen grab from somebody on a group on Facebook who was talking about this book that I have coming out Saturday.
Yeah.
From the family. So I'm writing about my pops.
Yeah.
And they're sharing it to the family. Bernard gets it. I'm like, how'd you get this? And he goes, I'm like, wait a minute. We family?
Yo, family.
Are we
that's
family?
Crazy.
Are we family? And I'm like, well, what was Pops?
Crazy.
I'm like, what was Pops to you? He goes, Pops is my uncle.
Wow.
And I'm like, oh man. So through that basketball universe, and, that's how that works. But here's this cat, and I remember the Capital Classic that he played in because one of my best friends was Gerald Jackson, who ended up he played for the Knicks at in Minnesota for a little bit, but he went to Flint Hill. But he was from my high school, transferred his senior year, went to Flint Hill, turned that under Stu Vetter under that program. He's on the squad with Muggsy and Tommy Amaker and B. Day. And I'm like, I remember this dude.
Dunbar, right?
H.D. Woodson.
Oh, H.D. Woodson.
H.D. Woodson.
Oh, that's right.
And that lineup, I'm like, I got giddy because Terry Long, another one of my dudes, was on that.
Like T. Long.
Yeah, so he played in this, and I'm like, wait a minute. So we got together, had lunch on Tuesday, and I'm like, okay, bro, like you here, the universe always taking care.
Yeah.
Put us back there. I'm like, listen, you got the pipes, you got the stories. I need you in the ticket family. You already family. Now I need you in the radio family.
Yeah, absolutely.
But it's like, it's the universe, man. That I not for any reason me coming to Lincoln, Nebraska
to do this,
to find out one, it's a DC kid, but two, he's my first cousin.
Yeah,
this is family.
Yeah,
I'm like,
literally.
Oh, okay,
come on.
like this is another one. So as he says, and another one.
That's the word. So B, outside of the wonderful talent that you were able to play with over the course of your career, what was your summers like? Because I remember being in DC. Like my father was stationed in at Fort Meade, so obviously we were kind of in that belt area before DC off the Beltway. And I come down into DC and go down to Maryland and play, and also played the Kenner League. What was it for you with all of that DC talent, that, you know, the place where y'all would just go and get it in, and it would just be a sweat box, and everybody was, you know, face to face, and, you know, because back then you used to have to bump and grind, baby. You couldn't just, you know, it wasn't a touch and go, it was bump and grind. So, you know, tell us about kind of how that went for you.
I'm telling you, back then, man, the players that I had to play against and the players that were there, I mean, it was crazy. And where we went to play was number 2 boys club. And yeah, and it was, man, John Thompson used to bring his team down there, and we used to go at it, man. And it was like some of his old players was playing in it. And, you know, and this, man, the talent that was out there, man, it was like, once you sat down, you might as well.
Oh, you might as well go home.
Yeah,
the day's over with.
Yeah, exactly.
So it was important, a team that you was able to put together to make sure it was star-studded.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah,
for sure. And you know, and it's like playing down there, man. And you didn't make it to the Urban Coalition. The Urban Coalition, that was the league right there before the Kenner League. I mean, the Kenner League was still going, but the Urban Coalition,
that was
man,
it.
oh, man,
that was where you needed to
That's where all the players were, man. You had Manute Bowl coming through there. You had David Robinson coming through there. You had before Moses Malone.
Ooh, Lord.
Guys from the Bullets playing in the league, man. It was so much talent coming through there, man. I just sit back and watch.
Yeah.
And then Adrian Dantley, and all of a sudden
he was a walking bucket.
Oh my gosh, man.
People don't realize Adrian Dantley was a walking bucket.
That guy could go on anybody.
Like, yes, sir.
King
like
of the
he was the guy.
King of the underside.
Yes, sir.
Right?
He was
it's
the
not
guy.
Barkley. It's AD. Facts. AD is the king of the underside.
Yeah, that's good stuff, B-Day. So what? Go ahead.
What's crazy, man? I was just looking at some stuff on Len Bias here the past couple of days. The week before he passed, I ended up playing against him in the Urban Coalition, and I ended up guarding him for a second. And all of a sudden, man, this dude pulled up and shot a jump shot, man, and I was looking like,
pretty.
Damn, this is Len Bias. And you know, he missed it. And all of a sudden he just looked at me and he was like, I shouldn't have shot that, huh? I said, nope. I'm glad you missed. And then, you know, when I came back, because I had summer school. So I was in summer school, man. And all of a sudden the instructor came to me and was like, hey, did you hear? I was like, hear what? He's like, hear about Len Bias. I was like, no. And then he was like, yeah, you better run home and check. So, man, I go back to the dorm. And all of a sudden, you know, I had a little TV and I turned it on. I was like, oh, man, this is crazy.
Sad
man.
story.
Yeah, it was
sad
crazy.
story. Len Bias, we would be probably speaking about him in the top 10, 5 all time.
Easy.
It's just that's how skilled he was.
Easy. Like that Larry Bird.
Ooh, if they would have got together, my gosh, you talk about a dynasty?
Oh,
that would have been a super dynasty if Len Bias would have been able to touch with Larry Bird and McHale and shoot. You crazy in the mug, boy. That was look, I'm not speaking nothing, but y'all got lucky. The NBA, us, all of us got lucky that did not happen.
Just imagine that Celtics teams with Jordan.
Oh, gosh.
Well, that's what it would have been with Len Bias. Len Bias, I mean, there's all the camps back in DC back in the day. Bias and Jordan would go head to head, and we knew. I mean, add Johnny Dawkins to that conversation, and at the time, you know, Sidney Lowe would come back, Derek Wittenberg would come back. Like if you played ball in DC back in the day, you got it. And look at this dude ends up in Lincoln, Nebraska, and I'm gonna get out of the way and let y'all talk to this man because I want B-Day stories to get out there.
Yeah. So we got to take a break right now. We'll come back. We'll cross over, and we'll still keep B-Day here and talk a little bit more about some of the stories and the wonders of his time here in Nebraska and beyond. We'll be right back. 93.7 The Ticket, theticketfm.com. We'll be right back.
Where will your path take you, traveler? To seek fortune in a new career? Or on a journey to distant lands for a well-deserved vacation? Wherever you go, one distraction could spell disaster. You can change your fate, adventurer. Don't drive distracted. Paid for by the NDOT Highway Safety Office.
Agriculture is the economic engine of the Midwest. At Acres Equipment, we dedicate ourselves to making that engine run smoothly. We supply our farmers and ranchers with quality John Deere equipment, parts, and service. also deliver the most advanced technology and precision ag strategies to help them farm today and for the future. Acres Equipment, solutions for every field.
There's a new way to vacay when you fly LNK. Check out brand new service at the Lincoln Airport to some of America's favorite travel destinations. Catch convenient nonstop flights to Vegas, Atlanta, Minneapolis, Orlando, Austin, or Nashville when you fly via Redway. With so many affordable options to choose from, planning your vacation has never been easier. Visit GoFlyRed.com. Book with charters offered by Global X Air Tours LLC and operated by Global Crossing Airlines Incorporated.
Constructors is now hiring for all positions, with laborers starting at $20 and up based on experience. Constructors has immediate job openings for laborers, mechanics, bridge builders, operators, and drivers. Start your new career today. Constructors offers great pay, health, dental, and vision insurance, paid time off, paid holidays, and so much more. Join the crew today and be a part of Nebraska's oldest paving company dating back to 1908. For a complete list of openings and to apply online, visit constructorslincoln.com.
Mary Ellen's Food for the Soul. Smoked meats, amazing sides. The only problem when they fix you a plate is that at some point, that plate will be empty. But hear me out. What if that plate was never empty? That dream can be your reality with the Mary Ellen's Express Lunch Buffet. From 11 to 2 every Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and even Saturday. One price, all you can eat, and it even comes with a drink. Tell your boss you're taking a long lunch and get down there. Mary Ellen's Food for the Soul at 29th and Pine Lake. Let them fix you a plate.
There's never been a better time to earn more on your checking account. Open a free Kasasa Cash checking account with Liberty First Credit Union and earn up to 5.5% APY for up to $40,000. It's simple. Open your Kasasa Cash checking account online or stop into any of the 4 Lincoln locations or Seward and Omaha branches. Liberty First makes switching easy, and Kasasa checking is always free. See libertyfirstcu.com for details. Federally insured by NCUA. Liberty First Credit Union. Banking with purpose.
There's nothing quite like the Mercado by Certified Piedmontese Beef. The Mercado offers unique ingredients you can't find anywhere else, open every day from 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. The full-service butcher shop and retail store is wonderful for meat lovers with their exclusive certified Piedmontese beef and assorted sausages, plus other quality meats, including pork, chicken, and a wide range of the freshest seafood. Plus, every Friday from 11 to 2, the Mercado serves up the best lunch in town on their Friday Feast menu. Stop in at the Mercado today at 84th and Havelock or visit their website at cpmercado.com to see current deals.
Public schools are the cornerstones of our communities, and it's communities that ensure students have great public schools. I'm Jenny Benson, president of the Nebraska Association. Learning happens at home, in school, and everywhere in between. We all have a role to play in supporting student learning in the classroom and beyond. Help us make this the best school year yet.
Sponsored by the Nebraska State Education Association, aired by the Nebraska Broadcasters Association and this station.
Shopping for insurance can be a frustrating and tedious task. Brokers Insurance Agency in Lincoln has a full staff of licensed professional agents who will do the work all for you. Brokers utilizes over 20 insurance companies to save their clients money. Brokers Insurance Agency will always do what is in the client's best interest and will find the best program to fit your needs. Call Brokers Insurance Agency today at 402-420-5353 to get a quote today, or find us online at brokersinsurancene.com.
Working at Continental in Lincoln isn't a job, it's a career. And right now they've raised wages again and they're hiring for production operators at $24.11 per hour, which grows to $28.27 per hour within 3 years. Skilled trade positions now start at $32.76 per hour, with opportunities to make more based on certifications. Continental also has salary jobs available and great benefits, plus medical and prescription costs at very low premiums. Dental, vision, and life insurance are offered at no premium cost to the associates, with increased bonuses and vacation for new hires. To learn more or to apply, go to continental-jobs.com with keyword Lincoln. Come work at Continental today.
Now back to On the Block with Strick and Austin on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Oh, it's a full house in the building right now. That's for sure. Jay and Kenny Wilhite has joined us. Austin, step to the side. Just
right here.
No,
He
just
always is.
step
He
to the
always is.
side.
Man,
Man, get out. We don't want Austin in the building right now. Now, Austin's my partner. He always staying. I'm just playing jokes right now. I told him I was going to give him the heckle because he was heckling me earlier. And then he always.
To be fair, Rico started.
Okay, that's right. Okay, all right.
Well,
we will charge.
You lost again.
I did, man.
To Rico.
I know, bro.
Straight.
I don't know. I got to figure it out. I'm going to get it together.
Okay.
I'm going to get it together. But Bernard, man, once again, thank you for joining us, man. This is the crossover. This is the section where the old school crew and the On the Block crew get together and have some conversations, talk about some things and drop some knowledge if we drop that, or, just have a little conversation about the talk of the day and, in all things sports. So just real quick for you, when you finally decided to come here, you played, had a good run at it. What made you say, this is home? Because when I speak about that, it's the same thing. I look at Jay, I look at me, I look at Kenny. We've all come from different parts of the country, but it's just something about here that all brought us back and just had us to want to, plant our seed and lay groundwork and foundations here. What was it for you?
Well, being from DC, I just this town was just so laid back, and and it was like I didn't have to deal with all the problems that was going on back there, and I didn't want to be around it. And so when I got here, I just made it home, and got comfortable, met people, and then I just ended up staying.
That's what's up. Who do you feel that one was your greatest competition in the Big 8 back then, and then who did you enjoy playing with most?
I enjoyed playing with Brian Carr.
Yeah.
Oh man, my point guard. Yeah, he was great. He was the assist man, and and it was like, if Coach New wouldn't have made him shoot the basketball, he would have led the Big 8 in assists instead of Cedric Hunter.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it was like the toughest guy I played against. Both of them were on Kansas State team at that time.
Really?
Mitch Richmond.
Yeah.
And Norris Coleman.
Okay.
The Sarge.
Yeah, okay. Man, no Danny Manning.
Danny Manning.
He was at Kansas.
He was at Kansas, but he was tough.
Just in general.
He was tough. Yeah. It's like me being 6'4".
Yeah.
I played the 3, 4, and the 5.
Facts.
And and it was like guarding those guys, man. It was a challenge. But it was
you was up for it. You was DC bred, baby. You was up for it. That was none for you.
Yeah.
Another day at the office.
Another day at the office. What y'all think about the playing games?
Well, he wasn't here yesterday. Both of my picks came.
Mine came through. I said it too.
That's what I want to ask you. First of all, what Danny Nee? Okay, listen, man. Jose Ramos. Hey,
y'all a mess.
Nah, Strick. Don't you say
y'all a mess.
Strick. Listen here, I won't clown you on air. I'm talking to the OG right here. Hey, so you from DC? I'm from Frederick, Gaithersburg. You know what I'm saying, with TJ, and then I went up to Minneapolis. But I always wanted to know, what was it about that Coach Nee that he was able to recruit? Because he had some
Did you hear me say that name?
I know. We're going to just over. That's for after hours. I just want to know what it was about Coach Nee, because Jimmy Williams took care of me, even though I wasn't on the basketball staff, because he knew my dad from when he was up with the Gophers. So
Lynn Mitchum recruited me.
So strict. Okay, this is the A and B. Just listen here. When we get off air, I'm gonna tighten you up and take you up there. So you keep dipping up in there, you're gonna get your feelings hurt. I'm asking the OG from DC.
Okay.
What's it about Danny Nee, or what was it about Coach Nee and his staff that can go anywhere, whether it's DC? You think about Bernard Gardner, even though he went to JUCO
up in Chicago, winning the shot,
and get guys to come here, but nobody would leave. Now, granted, the transfer portal wasn't there, but you guys were well taken care of, and you guys had a plethora of talent. So to manage those type of egos, and with only 12, there ain't no hiding, because when you go to the coach's office, you might be waiting outside, and then another player waiting in there for the same reason.
Now, you say that. I played 1 year for Moiba. And then I played a year for Coach Nee.
Okay.
After that, I left. I went overseas for 7 years, but I left. And every year I came back, I would see all the talent that he brought in.
Right.
Coach D was a damn good talker.
He
He
could
was a
sell
damn
ice
tight
cream in the middle of the sun, a sunny day.
Yeah, the guy was a damn good talker. So, as far as how he got the talent in
Right.
here,
That was it.
that, I don't know what else.
Bruh.
But,
We
Come
know
on.
who the closer was, but why you we got
Come on, bruh.
FCC regulations. I'm
I
keep
ain't-
glossing it over, man.
We the cleanest program in the nation.
Look, man, we can't be doing this. You got 4 brothers on the radio, man. Jose Ramos is going to be talking about being outside.
We the
Yeah,
close.
yeah, you going to mess around and be putting in
Nebraska. I
Jose
tell
Ramos
people-
is going to have you in the Cobra
I didn't
Clutch
say that.
just because you was in the program.
I don't know nothing about that. I plead the fifth. Let's go. Real talk though. I tell people all the time that Nebraska is the cleanest program in the nation. They always try to come in here, find out what's going on, see something going on. But if it was going down, it had to be on
Really?
football.
No,
and the
no,
reason,
it was
if it was going down,
see, Bernard. Sometimes you got them teammates that don't know how to keep their mouth shut, right?
if it was
So
going,
we all know who we ain't gonna rob a bank with. Okay, so we home team. We know Kenny down like 4 flat
First
tires.
48,
Real talk.
He giving it up.
Hey, first 48.
He's
It
giving
do-
it
I
up.
didn't say it was.
Hey.
I said if it was going down.
Right, that's what I'm saying.
It had to be on
You only need good guy back cop. He there. Hey, he don't even need a, he
No.
don't even need a cigarette, no water, nothing. He just right there on the. Kenny was here. Bernard was here. Jake gave us a
Austin
ride.
was there.
Austin was
there.
the guy that came up with the plan.
Yeah.
He's like, they just picked me up. I didn't know where we were
I
going.
didn't know what was going on.
Right, I got picked
Brandon
up last.
Miller, baby. I'm Brandon Miller. I was just bringing it to the show, baby. I don't know nothing else. That's all
I wanted to ask you guys how y'all had them whips like that.
Oh.
Yeah.
I thought he was on the ones and twos. Now you a DJ?
No.
You over there scratching mixing on
Yeah.
your words.
That's what I was told.
No.
You mean tell you want me to really be?
Hey, I know I ain't. All I got is a pack of guns and
Lawrence
smacking
Phillip?
the boat.
Lawrence Phillips had the coldest car on campus. I look. I play baseball for a living. I had a little cashola, so
Oh, okay.
I bought my little car. You know
Yeah,
what
I
I'm
got-
saying?
He had his own spot.
Yeah.
It was 3 of us.
Yeah, he had his
How
own
you
parking
know I
spot,
had
man.
my own
You saw.
spot?
You
my
said.
boy?
You said.
You
it the
said
other
you
day.
told on yourself.
You told on
it's first
yourself.
48, Eric.
You already
and we
did.
got you on tape, man. That's the problem. You just can't sit there.
I did have my own
Yeah,
spot.
yeah.
Listen,
NBA, bro. NBA, bro. NBA.
we
players.
gotta take a
Yeah.
quick 10 seconds, and we got good guys. We need to get out of here. That's what we need to do. I need to
He
get
over
out
there-
the
he
box.
over there sweating. Look
He's
at him.
sweating. Put
This
him.
is Lincoln's home for sports talk on the FM dial. Also online at theticketfm.com. On the internet. KNTK FM Firth. 93.7 The Ticket.
These guys. Oh, shoot. My bad. Back on the air. We on the block and crossing over with the old school crew. Jay, you big you.
Oh, it is Thursday.
Is it Thursday?
Oh yeah.
It is Thursday.
You leaving again too?
gotta break
Yeah,
out.
you gotta be. You fully replaced then. That's good.
I
I
gotta
want. You
break
know
out.
what? But honestly though, Bernard, I want to ask you about this. We're going to get into it in our show about Zion Williamson, right?
Ooh,
because it's huge. I mean, granted, I think if I was a player, and I want to ask your opinion, and coming back from injury, you can technically be healthy. Realistically, we've all came back from injury where you can't compete at the
level you want.
or that you want, or that you can actually
Right.
be, successful at. Now everybody can look on the TV. My man, they've been eating good. We were talking about even having
Man.
shrimp etouffee and all that. Do you think do you think Zion should have and could have played? That's number one. And number two, do you think the team, if they both knew he wasn't going to play, because that's what they're saying now, that he wasn't going to play for a couple weeks, that they should have even had him warming up out there? Because if you're not going to play for a couple weeks,
Yeah.
why even have him going, doing it before the game? Because you
Yeah.
got a beautiful practice facility that you could have done that in the
Facts.
morning.
Yep.
Facts.
You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I want to ask you that from in both of you guys, that your playing experience, because if I'm a player and if I'm his agent and I'm calling on Bernard, I'm mad and I'm thinking about getting you up out of there because it's making my client, which would be Bernard and E Strick, look bad.
Well, for me, it's like he said he was healthy, but it was a mental thing.
Right.
He didn't know how he would perform as he went out there. And, and all of a sudden things start to go bad. You get into your own head.
Mm-hmm.
And then from that point on, you just lost.
Right.
And for him as a young player who's still kind of trying to find his way, I mean, he's a hell of a talent, that's for sure. But for somebody who's trying to find his way and knows that mentally he wouldn't be prepared, okay, I can say that's all right.
Yeah, because I don't want you out there, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I wouldn't want to expose it.
No, because then all of a sudden, you never know. He might break down from that point. And, it might be a struggle for him after that. So, but for that practice thing, I never understood why you put a guy out practicing. You got people in the stands, watching, and it's like, well, damn.
Mm-hmm.
Look at what he's doing.
And that was last year, too.
And he dunked
it was last year.
And then he hit the windmill at the very end. That's kind of his signature move. I just felt like, I wanted, like I said, what your guys' opinion? I felt like, I don't know if it's purposeful. You set him up for failure because people are talking about it. Because just from the naked eye, if you can go out there and practice, everybody expects you to play. Now, we've been in locker rooms. We know you can go out there and go with the trainer in a controlled environment versus you going out there, especially in a win or go home game.
So for me, I think you can look at how it was received by your Batman and Robin by McCollum. He wasn't happy. Like like what he did in his conversation in his post game.
Oh, there wasn't no fair dodging.
It was like it was like, to me, it was like when you in prison. You know how you in prison, right?
Nah.
No, when you've seen the shows.
Shawshank Redemption.
Yeah, you've seen the shows where guys are walking and they're passing the thing, and you walk by and and they hit you with the shanker, and then you just walk in and you're like, God dang. It was one of those. It wasn't like he hit him, walked in his face and he just hit him with the shanker, just to let him know, he was not happy about it. But here's the other part, though. Zion is also dealing with the aspect of watching Ben Simmons fall off and collapse off the mountain, because Ben Simmons at his highest, he had that mental block and he has not been the same ever since so he's got to watch that. So now I say it's twofold. I say he's seen this happen. Somebody that when their mental hasn't been right, how you can look at that. You can look at Marquez Fultz. But then you can also see the good out of Andrew Wiggins.
And you can see Marquez Fultz too.
How they reemerge. Right. So like, which one you want to be? But the fact that you got $190-some million.
200.
Well, if he makes if he makes an NBA all team, he gets it too. But you're the guy, and they need you twice. They've been on the verge of a breakthrough. Could have won, I think, last year.
Yeah.
If he shows up. Now it's happened twice. If I'm a player, I'm like, I don't know if you get in the trenches with me, my boy. Like that's how I feel. I'm like, I don't know if I can fight with you in the trenches.
I think the difference between him and Ben Simmons. Okay, because Chris Humphries he's a family friend. He ain't mess with a Kardashian, so at least I think he'd be all right. But to be honest with you, though, I mean, we talk about this all the time, and I want to ask you guys that. You have teammates, and we always say athletes are like wolves, right? And you kind of, when you see somebody, you just look in their eye, and he bowed it. Some guys that you played with, even though y'all be cool at a reunion or something, you just know. That's it. It don't matter who they are. And he might be that guy.
He might just be that guy. He tricked the bag, meaning he tricked them into the bag, because his sample size, to me, I don't know.
We're going to dive into it, man, because
y'all get it.
I read up on the details of his contract. I mean, between him and Pocket Hercules is Kyler Murray, a little quarterback. Where's your pride at in your game?
Man.
You a quarterback and all you got to watch is 4 hours of film?
Come on, somebody.
That's essentially two shows that we just did. And he playing, then he on PlayStation that night. And then you got your boy Zion. He's got to weigh in every month.
Yeah.
Your guaranteed money goes way down. They hit him with an NFL contract.
Oh, they got him like that.
Well, the owners own the Saints as well.
Yeah. Well, look at what we got, man. Listen, it's going to be hot over there on the Old School Crew, tapping in, dropping it, and you got a lot that you're going to hit them with. So stay tuned. Stay right here. Old School will be coming up next. B-Day, thank you for joining us on the block today. We appreciate you and your insight. We'll be back mañana tomorrow. I'll be in KC. My partner will be gone, but we'll be here with Rico. We'll see y'all later. Peace.
This is Jay Foreman. I work to protect my health on the football field, and I'm protected now, staying up to date with the bivalent COVID vaccine. Get up to date while it's still free and stay protected.